Welcome back. Now, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy is set to provide an update report on progress made by the ministerial intervention team that's to stabilise and rebuild the air traffic navigation services, that's ATNS, from the department. It does come after several announcements by the state entity which have led to restrictions on aircraft landings as well as takeoffs at many airport runways across the country. Now, these developments have left many travellers as well as airlines, especially airlines, inconvenienced. Zola Sholwana joins me now with a little bit more here. Zola, we'll try and get a description exactly of what exactly this would hinder. But what are we anticipating out of this press briefing? And of course, word on who the current or acting CEO currently is.
More than anything, Arabile, we will be hearing from the minister as to what are the outcomes of the current suspension of the CEO of the state entity, as we understand that she has been currently placed under precautionary suspension as investigations into trying to find out if she has fulfilled her roles and responsibility as chief executive officers are actually currently in question at this particular moment. And you'd understand where this is all coming from. This particular entity, has been actually in the spotlight, as we understand that there's been complications in many airports in South Africa, particularly OR Tambo International Airport, where travelers would be inconvenienced and also aircrafts as well. And that then led to people complaining about the state of the entity, essentially mentioning that there's work that needs to be done. The ministry actually appointed investigators who are experts in the aircraft industry to really find out where the problems are coming from last year, December, and a report was compiled in the beginning of the year. And that's where we found out that there's an issue of staffing where they do not have enough human resource on the ground, leading to the complications that we currently know about now. And there's also a lot of several issues that have been mentioned in this particular entity, and the briefing will be focusing on that just to give people a sense of where it stands, as a government entity that falls under the Department of Transport, and also what's going to happen moving forward, because if no action is taken, then we know that the aircraft industry or space is actually quite critical as people are moving globally, coming to South Africa and others leaving to South Africa. So everything has to be on point, and that's where the minister will be touching on. As it stands, we don't know who is the current CEO that's acting in the absence of the CEO of the entity, but those are details that we'll be finding out from the minister. Of course, this team that has been appointed by the Minister of Transport has come with recommendations. Arabile, we know that there are currently personnel that are being trained at the academy now to fill the space and the gaps, because we understand that there's a greater need of human resource here, and there's also other interventions that we will hear more about as soon as the briefing begins in about 30 minutes from now.
Indeed, Zola, we'll certainly cross straight to that briefing then, as it happens at the top of the hour is when it is anticipated from Transport Minister Barbara Creecy, our very own Zola Sholwana.